Over the past 3 years, I've created Amazon listing tutorial videos that have reached over 1 million Amazon sellers. Today, I'm taking everything that I've learned from those videos and experience from my own business to bring you the most complete listing tutorial here on YouTube. In this video, we'll be using this product here, which are my custom golf head covers, which I'm gonna be using for today's video and also a video series here in the coming months. Now, these head covers just completed production last week and I do not have the physical product yet. However, this will not affect our listing process as everything's still the same whether you have the product or not. All right, so let's head over to the computer now and I can take you step by step on how to go through this entire process and how to fully optimize your listing. So the first thing that I want to mention is that this tutorial that you're about to see applies to all Amazon sellers. So that means if you're using Amazon's Fulfillment by Amazon program, FBA, or you're using FBM Fulfillment by Merchant, this listing process is going to be the same for both of those type of sellers. Additionally, I do not have my product here, as I mentioned previously, so it doesn't matter if you have your product physically at your location or if it's overseas still in production or it's already gone through production and shipping. It really does not matter for this listing process, and I'm going to show you every single step. So the first thing you need to do, get your Amazon Seller Central account verified and be able to access your Amazon Seller Central webpage. Now the page that I'm on right here is the catalog page, and this is really where everything starts. This is where the process is going to start. In order to get here, go to Amazon Seller Central. On the left side here, click the drop down, and you will find catalog and select add products. As soon as you select that, you should be met with a very similar looking page, if not identical. Amazon does tend to change this, month over month and throughout the year, so it may look just a little different, but the principles still apply here. Now, before we get into the listing process, we need to ask ourselves a very, very important question. Are we selling an existing product that's already on Amazon, or are we going to have to create a new listing for our private label product? So I'm going to show you both ways. The first way is if you are selling an existing product. This is very common if you're practicing online arbitrage, retail arbitrage, or you're wholesaling products. So for this example, we're going to be using my video mic, which I'll put a picture of this box right here on the screen so you can see it. This is a Rode Video Mic Go 2. Now on the bottom of the box, there's a barcode. And as you can see on the bottom of the barcode, there's a 12-digit number. That is our UPC product ID. It's a 12-digit number. So I'm going to show you two ways of how to add this existing product, and then we'll get into actually creating a brand new listing. The first way is to simply type in the brand name or the product name, or both. So I'll type in Rode Video Mic, as it's spelled on the box, Go 2, and I'll click enter. And immediately we can find the product that we want to list, and it's this first one here, Rode Video Mic Go 2. That's exactly what this product is. So to go through the process and to add this, you can click Show Variations if that's showing, and then you need to select a condition of the product. This product here does not have the windshield, so it's going to be this product. You can even match it up with the UPC. Go to Select Condition, if it's used or if it's new, and then more than likely you'll have to apply to sell, especially for these larger brand name products like Rode, Sony, Microsoft, all these products that are large brand names, you're going to apply to sell. Now that application process is pretty straightforward. As long as you can show a proof of invoice of you actually purchasing this product in order to resell as new or used, you should gain approval. And once you've been approved to sell, you can go ahead and create your offer on that listing. Now the other way to find this product, again, I told you I was going to show you two ways, is to grab that UPC barcode and to type in that 12-digit number, 6988130078999. And this is the preferred method because that UPC barcode only matches up to one product in the universe, universal product code. So this immediately found it by me typing in that 12-digit number, and I can go through that same process, apply to sell. Now at this point, if this applies to you, I want you to skip ahead in this video to the part where we actually begin to create our offer. That way you don't have to worry about actually creating a new listing, which I'm going to show others who are practicing private label now. All right, so I'll put that in the video so you can skip ahead. Otherwise, let's go back to the catalog add product screen. The next process I'm going to show you, and we're going to spend the bulk and majority of time actually going into detail on, is the private label method. So private labeling is when you take a generic product and you apply your trademark brand, ideally, to that product, and you begin selling that on Amazon. As soon as you apply your brand to that product, it becomes a brand new item on Amazon, even if there's a similar design on Amazon. It's your own branded product, so you should go ahead and to create a new listing. This is exactly what I'm doing with my golf driver head covers, which we'll walk through that now. So instead of going to the search bar and typing in your product, I want you to select this link right here. It says, I'm adding a product not sold on Amazon. Select that. And the first step is to select a product type or the Amazon category and subcategory and niche that your product is going to fall under. Now you can go through and you can browse all the Amazon categories and dive into the subcategories, but the quickest way is to go to the search bar here and to type in, what is your product? My product is a golf driver head cover. The more specific you are here, it's going to provide you the best matching category. Typically, the first one is the one we'll end up selecting here: sports and outdoors, sports, golf, accessories, head covers. That's exactly what I'm selling. There are two alternative ones here, but that's under golf equipment, and I'd say it's more of an accessory than actual golf equipment. So select the category for you that is most applicable. Okay, and now we're met with the most important tab out of all these tabs above. This is the product identity tab. Before we get into this though, I want you to go to the left side and where it says attributes. You can select required, it's probably already on relevant, or you can select all attributes. Required are the ones that have the asterisk next to them. This is the least amount of information you need to provide Amazon and also the customer viewing your listing. Again, it's marked with this blue asterisk right here. One other thing I want to note while we're on this topic is that if you see anything that has a lock, such as the external product ID, which we'll get into, this means that you cannot change this after the fact. The majority of your listing you can edit as you begin making sales or months down the road. It really doesn't matter. But as soon as you click continue and save and finish on this listing, the ones that have the lock, like the external product ID, that cannot be changed forever. You have to delete the listing and create a new one. All right, so back to the attributes. Let's not get carried away too much here. I want you to select all attributes. There are some attributes and inputs that you need to put in that aren't required and that are not relevant according to Amazon, but I think there's a lot of value by adding them in there. So select all attributes. All right, and we'll move over, and I just have one last thing. I know this is a lot of information to tell you prior to actually getting into the details, but it's very important to understand this because Amazon changes things a heck of a lot. So the last thing I want to tell you here is that your product identity page or the amount of tabs that you have may change and may look different depending on your product type. Amazon is going to put in all the inputs that I need to put in for my golf head covers, but if you're selling something such as spatulas, or you're selling something such as tire pressure regulators or something, you're going to be asked a different series of questions versus what I'm being asked. However, this entire process is still the same and it's applicable to all products. You'll just have to use your best judgment if you see a required information input that I don't have. All right, now let's get into it, all right? So the first question, does this product have variations? Variations, think of different designs or different colors or different sizes of your product. If I'm selling this white head cover, which I'll show you right now, imagine if I was selling a blue one as well. That is a separate variation. It's a different color. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to go through this process of not adding any variations for my product, and then I'll actually come back near the end and we can select yes here. We can cover a quick scenario of how to do that. Okay, and that's not required, so we don't actually have to select anything there. First one is your item name. What does this mean? This is the first thing that customers will see other than your price and your image. Now I'll put a tutorial in the cards right now and also a link in the description where you can access a video of mine on how I tell you and really go into detail on how to create your title. The title is the most important thing when it comes to search rank and SEO for your listing and overall discoverability. We want a title that has a lot of attractive keywords that Amazon search algorithm is going to pull and put your listing in front of customers, but we also want it to be easy to read. We're not just going to throw a bunch of keywords into the title and say it's done, it's fully optimized, because what's important is the customer's going to see it and they're going to be like, there's so many different random keywords, I don't even know what this product is. Now I've went ahead for the sake of this tutorial just to accelerate things. I've already created my optimized title, so I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste that into here. To give you an idea what the title says, it says golf club head cover, whiskey glass with golf ball and cigar. Golf club head cover is the most attractive keyword, and I'll show you how to find those keywords later on, but it's very important to put that main trending keyword at the front of your title. Driver head covers for golf clubs, another very popular keyword. And I say one piece just to say that you're only getting the driver head cover. You're not getting a set of these for all of your golf clubs. White leather, premium stitching, water resistant, embroidered logo. Next is our brand name. If you're selling an existing product, you'd put that brand name in here. However, we are selling a private label product, so I already have my own brand registered with Amazon. If I click this, it should pop right up. There it is, Vivere Golf. This brand name is one that I have trademarked legally here in the United States, and it's also gone through the approval process with Amazon Brand Registry. I'll put some cards in the links now to cover those two topics, but that's really the only way that you can use a new brand name that you own. You cannot go ahead and just create your own brand name without trademarking it and without going through the brand registry process, such as I just put Josh's head covers. I can't do that unless I go through that process. The other option you have for a private label product is to go ahead and select this box which says, this product does not have a brand name. As soon as I select that, it's telling me that, all right, your brand name is going to be generic, and that's what the customers are going to see. And then it's also telling me that that's going to be locked. I can't change that once I save this listing. I would only do this if you are wholesaling generic products or you're selling items that are seasonal, such as St. Patrick's Day decor or Halloween items. That is the only time I use this. I really recommend you not doing this for an actual private label product, because as a customer, you wouldn't purchase generic cereal at the supermarket. You wouldn't purchase a generic shirt, right? It's just not appealing from a customer standpoint. They want to trust you. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go in here. I'm gonna type in my registered brand and I'll select that. All right, and the last item here, I know this tab does take the longest just because it's the most vital information, is the external product ID. I'm gonna jump away for a second and we're going to discuss barcodes, and then we'll come back to right here. Okay, let's talk about barcodes. So the first barcode that we have is the FNSKU label, or the Fulfillment Network Stock Keeping Unit. This is a label that only Amazon uses to track your items throughout their fulfillment network. You'll receive these after you create your listing, so this isn't what we need to put in for our product ID. What we need is a GTIN or a UPC barcode for our product ID. A UPC, or Universal Product Code, is a 12-digit GTIN, or Global Trade Identification Number. Think of the GTIN as an entire category of barcodes, and a UPC is just one type of barcode. You can obtain a $30 barcode on GS1 using the link in the description. In the past, you could purchase these barcodes for a much lesser price on a third-party website, but since then, Amazon has restricted anyone from doing this. Only buy from GS1. Now, the other option is to claim that your product does not have a product ID. If you are branding your products and you are only using Amazon for your e-commerce platform, I would select this to save you money. If you're going to be selling your product on different platforms or in retail, then you need a product ID, such as a UPC or GTIN. All right, so now you know a little bit more about the barcodes and what barcode is applicable to you. So for me personally with this product, I'm not gonna sell this product on any other e-commerce platform, and I'm not able to sell this in retail just quite yet. So I'm actually going to select I don't have a product ID, and then that allows me not to even worry about the UPC or the GTIN. All I'm going to be using is the Amazon FNSKU label as my unique barcode to track this product through the fulfillment network. If you want to, and you have a GS1 barcode, the one that you buy for $30, you can type in that 12-digit number here and then select UPC. The other option is to type in, should be 14 digits, I believe, for your GTIN. You can type in the 14 digits there. It's been a while since I bought a GS1 barcode for this. All right, so I'm gonna select I don't have a product ID, and I can skip over that item. All right, you should see no more red, and the continue button should appear now for us to actually move on to the other tabs. Okay, so if you've gotten to this point, great job. The rest of this is fairly easy, other than just generating our product description and bullet points and all this content with the images. So the first thing we need to take a look at, the Vital Info tab, which is our product description. Amazon's changed this up recently. They've actually separated almost like bullet points where you can go ahead and you can add separate paragraphs. So I'm going to take my product description. I'm going to add 3 paragraphs. Paste it in there. Paragraph 1, paragraph 2, and paragraph 3. These are some that I just created, and this is going to pop up in our listing where it says product description. Now, one other thing, if you do have a registered brand with Amazon and you have the professional account seller type, you can go ahead and add what's known as A+ or enhanced content to your product description section. I really recommend doing this because it provides some visuals to the customers, which you can elaborate more on your features and the problem that you're solving for them. It's really beneficial as a registered brand. Additionally, it's free, so there's really no reason why you shouldn't go ahead and do that. I'll put some videos in the cards now so you can watch how to create A+ content after you've registered your brand with Amazon. All right, next is our bullet points. I recommend adding 5 bullet points, and I'm going to add 5 here just by clicking add more. And the most important thing is try to keep this as concise as possible. Never put more than 2 sentences per bullet point, and try to keep it under 200 characters per bullet point. The reason why you want to do that is because if I'm a customer going to your listing and I see all this text, paragraphs of text in the bullet points, I might actually lose my attention on your listing. I might head to another listing that I can actually quickly understand. So it's very important to be as concise as possible. So I'll take my bullet points here that I made already, and I'll copy and paste all of them into here. Okay, the bullet points are done. Let's scroll down to the other required fields. The one required one is model name for my product here. You can make this up unless your product already has a model number. It's usually somewhere near the serial number, close to the barcode if you have an existing product. For a new product, feel free to just create that. I'm going to just name it driver head cover for my model name. Manufacturer, enter the manufacturer information here. Since I have my own brand and I have ownership of this product and design as well as trademark, I'm going to go ahead and type in my brand name as the manufacturer for my business. Otherwise, if you're ordering from Alibaba, you can go ahead and copy and paste that supplier or manufacturer's name into here. Okay, so those are all the required fields, and you know that you're completed with the tab for the required fields whenever this red exclamation mark goes away. For example, if we remove the manufacturer, you can see that red exclamation point popped right back up. So that's how you know when you're ready to move on. All right, so let's select the offer tab. This tab has 2 important characteristics. One is the sales price for your product and any sales that you have going on. And the second is your fulfillment type. What I mean by fulfillment type, are you using FBA, where Amazon fulfills all your products and handles the customer service? Or are you going to be practicing FBM, fulfillment by merchant, where you personally ship out every product and you handle the customer service? So let's actually scroll down, because this makes things a lot easier, and go to the fulfillment channel. It should be the last one in the offer tab. This is going to be an FBA product, so I'm going to select Amazon will ship and provide customer service, fulfilled by Amazon. If you're doing merchant fulfilled or FBM, select the top one. All right, let's scroll back up, and if you recall, there was a quantity tab here, or the amount of units I have on hand. That was removed because Amazon's actually going to check in all of our inventory if we use the FBA method. They'll go ahead, they'll scan every product FNSKU label, and that's how they'll know how many products and units you actually have. If you're doing FBM, you're in control of that. Okay, so I'm going to skip the sales price and stuff like that. I'm going to go down to your price. This is arguably the most important part of your listing when it comes to a sale, because your customer is going to use this and compare to others on what's fair and what's not for your product. I'm going to show you using Jungle Scout how I go ahead and determine my sales price for this specific product. Feel free to go ahead and use the same strategy. It provides the fairest way of just determining how much you should actually sell your product for. All right, so I'm on Jungle Scout. I'll put a link in the description if you want a discounted offer to get this. Otherwise, you'll have to guess just by looking on Amazon and competitor listings how much to list this for. So I'm going to select the product research tab here and then select the tool that is known as the opportunity finder. All right, we're not even going to take a look at all these filters. All we want to include is the include keywords item here. I'm going to type in my product, golf driver head cover. Select search. Now I'm glad that this happened. It says no niches found, meaning that Jungle Scout does not have data for this set of keywords or this particular niche. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove a keyword such as driver and make it more general, golf head cover. And there we go. So we actually found 2 head cover niches, And if they're very similar and you can't decide between the 2 or 3 that you have in front of you, I usually go to the search volume and select the one that has the higher search volume. It's usually the more accurate set of data. All right, so the first item is the average monthly price. This is for the entire niche. Every single listing in that niche, the average price comes out to be about $33. All right, that's good to know. The second thing I do is I go to average price with the drop down, and I look at the past 1 to 2 years. What did the price fluctuate between those 1 to 2 years? You can see these trend lines, $24 up to $30, and it stayed relatively stable between $24 and $32, this upper region of the graph. So that gives me, a better idea that, hey, the average monthly price is $33. However, over the past 2 years, it's really just fluctuated between $24 to $32. For me personally, I think that's much more accurate than just going off of this number up here. So I know that I should probably be between $24 and $32. Now, is that all the information we need? No, we have to take it one step further and to check out all of the competitor listings on at least the first listing page. So I'll go up here to the niche and I'll select this little Amazon icon which says search on Amazon. This will pull up that niche on Amazon and you can scroll through to look at the first listing page. Now the reason why I want to do this is because I'm selling a driver only head cover, one piece. And for the niche of golf head cover, there's a possibility that people may be selling these in sets of 2, sets of 3, or even more. And that is going to influence the data that we're seeing in that $24 to $32 price range. It may not be entirely accurate for my exact product. So what I'll do here is I'll scroll through the first listing page. I'll always skip over the first sponsored ones here, and I'll look for similar products to mine. As you can see, these are iron head covers at $30.99. That's not really applicable to my product. This one is more applicable on the left here. This is one piece, so this is the driver head cover, or a 5-wood, and it's $16.99, much less. There's another one that says GOAT 12 for Tom Brady. That's one piece, that's similar to mine, $19.99. So we're seeing a trend here. Here's another one on the right, $17.59. Keep scrolling down. Here's a head cover here. That's a single one, $30. It's a little bit on the higher end. And here's another one. This is a Happy Gilmore Adam Sandler one, $32.95. So I saw a lot actually around that $20 range, and then I saw a couple on that higher end range towards the niche's average price. At this point, I'd think of the fairest offer and what my product could reasonably sell. It is customized, it is unique to the market, but I don't think that it can actually fit into that lower $30 range. So for this product, I'd probably go with around $25.99, maybe $24.99. I'd start out there by entering, let's do $25.99. And then over time, just for an idea for you, if you're not selling this product quickly, you can always lower that price until you find out, hey, a lot of buyers are actually purchasing this now. This is probably the better sales price for my product. All right, so $25.99. I know that was a lot just to come up with 4 digits, but you really want to do some research so you're not asking for too much and you're also not asking for too little. Next is your offering condition type. Is your product new? Is it from the original equipment manufacturer? Is it used? There's a lot of different options here. This is a new product. I don't need the open box or the OEM. I'll just select new. All right, next is the list price. Just put the same number in there, $25.99. And then we're going to scroll down until we get to the next one here. This is the import designation. This is, was your product, did it come from overseas? Was it imported into the United States? Or was it actually made here? You have some different options here. My product came from overseas, so I'm going to put imported. And as we can see, the red exclamation point disappeared, so we can move on to the next tab. All right, the product details tab. This tab really goes into a lot of different specifications and unique parameters for our product. The first thing that we want to cover is the generic keyword. This has changed a lot in the past. Previously, this would just be a keyword. It had its own tab. Then it went to the search terms, and now they're using generic keyword. All this is a set of keywords that go into the back end of your listing, meaning that customers cannot see this anywhere on your listing. And Amazon uses those keywords for discoverability and using their algorithm to find your listing when a customer types in some of these keywords. So I'm going to take a minute and use Jungle Scout and show you how I find my list of keywords. There's two very important things when it comes to keywords. Those are that you cannot use a trademarked brand name such as Apple or Nike, and you cannot repeat, you shouldn't repeat any keywords in this section. I'll show you exactly how to do that. So step one, let's use Jungle Scout to source trending keywords that customers are typing in. For this example, I'm going to go back to Jungle Scout, go to the Keywords tab, and select the Keyword Scout tool. All right, so we want to type in our product, the same thing we've been typing in. Let's type in golf driver head cover, and we'll click search to see the results. Note that the marketplace is the United States here. If you're in Canada or Mexico or any other country that Jungle Scout has data for, you can go ahead and select your marketplace. I'm going to remove the filters because that doesn't matter to me too much. And down below here are our keywords. You probably won't see this keyword list because I already created a list. But what I want you to do is go ahead and select the keywords that apply to your product from the top down to the bottom. Ideally, we want to find 20 keywords. So I'd go through this and I'd find the ones that are applicable. This one is 3-wood head cover. Mine is a driver head cover. I'm not going to select that because it doesn't apply. So continue through this list until you have 20. Once you have 20 selected, it will tell you on the left side here, I want you to add keyword to lists. We're going to add all these keywords to a list so we can copy and paste them into a different segment, which we'll get into. Now I already have a list here, driver head cover, so I could add them to that list. But what you'll want to do is go to create a new list and then give your list a name. So driver head cover, just so I can look at this in the future and understand what this set of keywords relate to. And then select create and add. Once you've done that, you'll see a message pop up in the upper right hand corner and you can click view list. The other way to get there is go back to the keywords tab and select keyword lists. Okay, and then select your driver head cover here. I have it right here. And we can find all of our keywords on the left hand side here. All right, and the next step is to download this as a CSV. Select that, and then you want to open that up with Excel or Numbers, whatever software you have that can open CSV files. So this is basically just an Excel sheet with that exported information. Go to the left-hand side here, and we're going to copy that. All right, and next there's a link in the description to go to this tool called tracemyip.org. No, I'm not tracing your IP. This is just a way to remove repeated words. Remember when I said that for the generic keywords, you cannot repeat keywords. It only works to your disadvantage. So we want to remove all the repeated words that we have in that set of keywords. So go down to this first section here and paste in what we just copied. These are the 20 keywords that were in my list, right? Now we'll scroll down and select original order. And there we go. So what this tool we did, it just went ahead and removed anything that was repeated. It just kept it here one time, which you want to do. The last thing you want to do is go through every single keyword here and to make sure that you're not including any keywords that are brand names. And the other thing I do is I remove anything such as like for, remove for, and there we go. So I'll copy this, head back to Amazon Seller Central, go to the generic keyword and paste in those keywords there. I know that was a lot of steps just to access, a couple keywords here, but this is the ideal and correct way of doing this, and it's only going to help your discoverability. Okay, let's run through some of these required ones. Department name. This usually relates to what gender your product is tailored for. For me, it's going to be unisex, and this would be an adult because the size of my driver head cover only really fits on actual adult size drivers, not youth and not baby. So select unisex adult for mine. And then material. If you have more than one material, you can select add more here, such as if you have 2 materials, you can put both of them in there. My material is leather, which happens to be the first one here. Select the material that applies to your product. Next is the item type name, driver head cover. The color is white, whatever the main color is. If you have some small little designs in yours, such as mine, I'm not going to put gold in here. I'm not going to put a brown for the whiskey. I'm just going to keep it white. If you have a size, if it's a t-shirt, obviously you want to put that in here. For my size, there's something in golf as the size of the driver, 460 cc's. So just put whatever is relevant to you. If it's large or if it's whatever, just make sure you can go ahead and put that size in there. It just really helps the customer understand the size for your product. All right, is product expirable? No, it is not food. It does not degrade over time. Included components. So if you're including anything such as an additional accessory to your product, make sure you add this in here. I am going to put driver head cover only, just so the customer knows that that's all they're getting. All right, and that should do it for the product details tab. So I'll scroll back up and I'll select the variations tab. We'll come back to this once we complete everything, and then I'll move over to the safety and compliance. This tab is also very important. This is going to contain information of where your product came from, where it was imported from, if it was, any warranty, and then also anything that the customer should know when it relates to safety. It's very, very important that you go ahead and you are extremely honest with all the information you put in here. If your product is sold to children that are 12 years of age or younger, you're going to provide a safety data sheet or a children's product certificate. Additionally, if your product has any hazardous liquid contents, you have to go ahead and put that information here. Do not try to be smarter than Amazon and say, no, mine doesn't have that, when it does, because Amazon will find out and your listing will be removed from Amazon, if not worse. So let's run through this here. The country of origin, this came from China. So I'll type in China and it popped up right here. Warranty description, I'm going to put not applicable because my product actually does not have a warranty, in addition to Amazon's refund policy. Are batteries required? No, it's a head cover. There's no lights on it or anything. Dangerous goods regulations. I'm not well versed when it comes to this, but I know for my particular product, this is not going to be applicable for these dangerous goods. There's no substances or waste that actually goes into this product or that can come from this product. So I'm going to select not applicable. Does it contain liquid contents? No, it does not. Next is the item weight. This isn't required, but I would recommend putting this in here. We'll also add this in here when we get to the shipping tab. But my product is 3.8, and then you want to go down to your units, ounces, 3.8 ounces. You can put anything in there, whatever metric you have. If it's kilograms, if it's grams, just make sure you have the units correct. All right, material fabric regulations. There are actually regulations when it comes to specific materials such as wool, bamboo, and fur. If those are not in your product, you can click not applicable. Okay, scroll down. This is a very important one if your product has any small items that could potentially be choked on. If there's a choking hazard, make sure you go ahead and put this information in here. I do not have any small parts, marbles, or anything that could cause a potential choking hazard. So I'm going to put no warning applicable. And that should be it. You can see there's a lot more information here. Depending on your product, you can go ahead and add that information, but for the required information, we do not need that. Next are the images. You can actually save and finish your listing without putting any images on, but it will never actually go to the listing pages where someone could actually view it. It's kind of weird. So I recommend putting in at least one image for now, and you can put a maximum of 9 images. I'll show you quickly how I go ahead and create my main image, which is the one that has a lot of restrictions on what you can and cannot do. This is the one that you commonly see as the first image, the one with a white background. So I begin by using a software that's open source called GIMP. It's free to use, and I start off by just clipping the edges of my product and removing it from the background. For this product, I received a photo from my supplier, and as you can see, the background was white and my product is white. I couldn't simply do that automatically. Next, I'll head over to Canva and I'll copy and paste that into there. And then from there, I can go ahead and export that as a PNG file. All right, so that's how I quickly create that main image. I also have some other videos I can put in the description on how you can use your smartphone and other softwares to create your image very quickly. So we'll go down here for main. You can see that's the only image here that has an actual description. So I'll click that. Go to my downloads and I'll select Untitled Design, which is the one I just showed you how to create. As you can see, there's my product and there's my main image. Now I don't have my product photos on hand because I actually want my product to go ahead and to take my own professional photos with. So I'm just going to leave this as it is now. And then once I receive that product and have units at Amazon, I'll go ahead and update these with the additional 8 images. Okay, and on to the last tab. This is our shipping information. We're going to go into our item dimensions, our package dimensions, and the weight of our product. This tab is very important when it comes to your FBA fees because Amazon will take this information and they'll put it into an equation to calculate how much you are going to pay in FBA fees per unit sold. Okay, so the first one is our item dimensions. When I say item dimensions, this is your product without any packaging. For my product, I'll show you an image now. I have a clear poly bag, which is the packaging, and the product within it. I want to provide the dimensions of the product by itself outside of the packaging. So this is going to be 12 inches long, so that's the length. And then we have 4 inches for the width. Make sure your units are correct, because if you put something like feet or meters here, you're going to have a very, very high FBA fee. And then height is going to be 2 inches. Okay, so that's it for the item. Next is our item package dimensions. That is the clear poly bag with my item, my unit actually within the bag, and the dimensions of that entire package. So this should be the same, if not larger. It should never be less than your item dimensions. Item package, it's a little bit longer, so it's 14 inches. The width is a little longer, it's 5 inches. And then the height is 2.5 inches. Okay, and the last one is our package weight. Not your item weight. We already added our item weight in the safety and compliance tab. This is how much our product weighs with the package and the item together. This is my clear poly bag with the product in it. How much does that weigh? 3.8 ounces is how much my product weighs. With the poly bag, it's actually 4.5 ounces. And lastly, number of boxes. This is how many boxes your product needs to be shipped in. Think of, if you were selling furniture that the customer has to assemble, such as a large bookshelf, you may actually ship it in 1 or 2, maybe 3 boxes. So make sure you indicate that here. If it's a small product like mine, it's just going to require 1 box. All right, Amazon is now validating it in the bottom right-hand corner. It says I can save and finish. Now before doing this, I'll look at the very top here. I just make sure that there's no red exclamation points because that's not going to allow you to proceed. And then you can go ahead and click save and finish. So that's how you do it without any variations. Before I click save and finish, I do want to cover the variations tab, and we can run through a quick scenario of how to actually do this. So for my product, remember my product is the Golf driver head cover that is white. Let's say we are selling a different color head cover. That means I need to select color here. Now you may be thinking, oh, well, we have to go back to the product identity tab. We have to select yes, right? If you go back to that tab, you can see that Amazon's already adjusted this information depending on the variation tab. So there's no need to go back and change information there. All right, since I selected color, it's gonna ask me what color is the variation. I have a white one, that's what this listing was created for, and now I have a blue one. So I'll select add. You go down here, there's actually 3 required fields. The first one is offer and condition type. This is also new. I'm also going to sell it for the same price because it's just a different color. And then you will put your quantity in. Let's just say I have 100 units of that. All right, and that's it. It's very simple now. It used to be much more complex with Amazon, but that's all you have to do is to put these 3 inputs in. You can go ahead, you can add a variation for your product. Okay, so select save and finish. It should load. If you have no red exclamation points, there should be no issues. And Amazon's telling you that this process can take up to 30 minutes. Now, from what I've experienced, mine usually takes a couple hours for Amazon to review and approve it, whether that's by someone actually doing it or Amazon automatically doing it with some type of bot. I'm not sure, but it usually does take a couple hours for it to pop up in your manage inventory page. All right, thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe so you can see how this product actually ends up performing. I'm going to use this product as well as another product to cover every single step of how to create a private label product on Amazon and how to sell it successfully.